Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
All right, Kim, thanks very much. There's a little tough love on that story to end the newscast, and maybe Mike Sullivan is going to give him a little tough love if the Penguins lose this game today because they had a 3-1 lead, kind of took their foot off the gas, and Montreal, a young team but motivated, right now they have come back and have a 4-3 lead. Welcome to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani joined tonight by Chris Mueller of the PM team, 93.7 The Fan in the Green Tree Studios. And Chris, we're going to invite people to come on here as, commercial breaks. I think there's 5 minutes left in this game, so we'll have a final maybe by the time we sign off. But your take on this, because I thought the Penguins, when Blueger scored, had them right where they wanted him, and all of a sudden, boom, everything changed.
So what was that story to end the newscast? The kid had his stuff, his belongings were out on the curb with him. Can we do that with? Can we do that with Jack Johnson? Can we just put his hockey bag on the curb outside the bubble? He was a -3 at last check in this game. He's been absolutely atrocious. Driving in here, I was unable to see the fourth goal, the go-ahead goal, but I know it was a bad goal given up by Matt Murray. It was a sharp angle goal from a guy that's not a goal scorer, so that's bad. It's terrible. 3-1 lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey, but that cliche shouldn't apply as much in the playoffs. A team should know to keep the foot on the gas pedal. The Penguins didn't. What's really been disheartening about this last period is the Canadians have taken the play to the Penguins at every turn. It hasn't been like a fluke. It might have been a fluky goal, or it might have been something like that. They have absolutely handed the Penguins their lunch these last 15 minutes or so. Yeah,
the Penguins have had very little zone time. When they trail, and you would expect them to carry the attack to Montreal, it's not happening right now. The Petrie goal, you didn't see it, but you will, and it's one of those goals that I think if Sidney Crosby had scored it, we'd be saying, wow, what a shot. He had just a very little opening at the top of the net, put it high. So I give Petrie credit. I think he's played very well in this series. However, if you're the Penguins, to allow that much space for him to shoot, the defense has been out of place, specifically that Johnson-Schultz combination. You're right, Chris. But that goal, Matt Murray cannot allow to go in there. And I know I'm contradicting myself because I would have credited. It was a good shot. Don't get me wrong. When you see it, you'll appreciate it. At the same time, you can't give it up at that point.
It matters who the person is who's shooting it. I'm sorry. Like, that's just the facts. Like, if it's a non-goal scorer who puts that shot in, there's no excuse for it. You at least chalk it up if it's Crosby or McDavid or Ovechkin or one of the best snipers in the league scoring that kind of goal, but not if it's Petrie, even though it'll be his second game winner in this series if it holds up. Just a really disappointing performance, though, all the way around so far. I, like you, thought that when Blueger scored, this one was maybe not over. I thought Montreal might be able to make it a little bit difficult on them, but I certainly didn't expect a total system collapse here. And this is bringing back disheartening and frustrating memories of what happened to them in that Islanders series. They lost a close game 1 and then completely fell apart in games 2, 3, and 4. And it looks like they're doing that within the span of about 1.5 periods in this game.
All right, so I'll ask you the question. I was in favor of taking Murray out after game 1 because I, number one, trust Tristan Jarry, but number two, I felt they needed to do it just to kind of send a little message, and coaches have done it before, and Sullivan was correct for not overreacting, but let's say they lose this game 4-3, and the way they lost, what would you do with your lineup? We saw Sean Lafferty in there tonight in place of McCann. I'm not sure why that decision was made. We'll find out later, but there may be other changes as well because Marleau hasn't done much, and I thought he would. The power play finally came to life tonight, but what would you do in goal? I'm just curious.
Well, in goal, I'd keep Matt Murray. If you were going to make a switch there, I think it was going to have to be after game 1. It's not very fair to ask Tristan Jarry to come into a series down 2-1 with your back against the wall, can't afford to lose, and say, hey, go play the game of your life out there. I think the die has been cast here as far as Matt Murray. It's going to be his series. But I really, Bob, don't think it's the problem there in goal for them. You want to know what changes I would make? Jack Johnson would be out of the lineup immediately. Chad Ruhwedel would be in. I don't think Justin Schultz is particularly good either. On that pairing, it's really just bad and worse. But Jack Johnson is the main problem. I think he's directly responsible, you could say, for at least 2 of Montreal's goals, so that's definitely happening. I thought Sam Lafferty was okay. I don't know why McCann was out, if it was injury or otherwise, but McCann was a terrible player, really, for them for the first 2 games. Didn't have a shot on goal, so it could have just been performance-based. I'm definitely getting Jack Johnson out of the lineup. That is a baseline must-happen for Game 4.
Yeah, we haven't seen much from Evgeny Malkin either in terms of the stat sheet. He's had a lot of shots the first couple of games, but he has not put his signature on this series so far, and I thought for sure he would. We're going to take a break here. We have plenty more coming up on this. If you want to comment, please call 412-575-2600. Also tweet us at KDPomp, at Chris Mueller PGH. Plus the Pirates stunk again. We'll talk about it and show you some of the misery from PNC Park. That's next, right here on Pittsburgh CW.